Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, networking the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps and I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, change. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee back. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy, on the channel to cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We got an amazing show for you guys today. It's going to be better than the price action, I'll tell you that, but it is getting better. So let's talk about what happened this morning. This morning we had PPI, Producer Price Index. This is the inflation data for the B2B, business to business. And what is happening right now, we are seeing tariff inflation happening. So tariff inflation is basically the inflation, the tax that comes over and the businesses have to pay, right? So that, and they're passing that kind of on to business. And that hasn't reached the consumer yet. As you can see from the CPI a couple of days ago, came in pretty much flat from where we were and where we expected. Today was 0.8 higher than expected, which makes me kind of think like, maybe they should have been expecting this. I don't know, but you saw everything dip. I mean, Bitcoin hit an all-time high yesterday. Congratulations to Bitcoin holders again, a new all-time high. Ethereum was so close. BNB hit an all-time high yesterday. There's a lot of all-time highs yesterday, which is really awesome. Ethereum, though, looking really strong. We do have Ethereum sitting at 4,664, so barely any dip at all. I mean, it was at 472. So, I mean, we're down 1.8%. Bitcoin coming back now, going all the way down to 117, battling back up to 118. So this is all good. This is all good stuff. It shows you that the buy the dippers came in and they're buying the dip up. I mean, you're able to get it for 118 today, and you had to pay 123 yesterday, 124 yesterday. So this is all good stuff. I do think we're going to have a really good day in the second half when the traders get back to their desks at 1 p.m. So I think they're going to take it back up. I do think Bitcoin will be back at all-time highs next week. So not tomorrow, but next Friday, we do have Jerome Powell speaking at Jackson Hole. This is a big deal for a lot of reasons. We're really going to get a feel for what he's thinking. If he comes in dovish next Friday, we could have the most amazing couple of weeks, first couple of weeks in September leading up to the rate cut on 17th. Everyone's pretty much saying rate cut. Poly market barely dropped. It was at 88% rate cut. Now it's like 80. So it's barely anything. So I do think we're still going to get that rate cut. We might not get the 0.5 that we really want, but we might get the 0.25, which I think is completely fine. That'll just set us up for the next one and the next one. Yeah, so I'm really excited, guys. We have a lot of good news stories happening today as well. And we're going to kind of get into the meme coin that OnChain Revolution is dropping this Sunday at 8 p.m. You guys want to be there for it because we're going to launch it on Solana Launchpad. We're going to bridge half it over to the Bitcoin runes, and then we're gonna have staking opportunities, 100% APY for 90 days. You put in 100, you get 100 back in 90 days. It's gonna reward the long-term holders. We're gonna talk about everything like that in a few minutes, but without further ado, let's bring my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling in this chaos that we're dealing with right now?
Yeah, it's not just It's not just chaos with the price. Sorry, I've been hearing like double because I'm trying to get like the repost for OnChain, but X is having chaos too. Like
Yeah,
so yeah, for you guys that are watching on X, have a little patience here because they're trying to fix I think the stream. But yeah, it threw me off for sure. But that's what it's kind of started our morning, right? Being thrown off with the price with Bitcoin and Ethereum after having such a great day before. I think the PPI was a perfect opportunity, like you said, for these big trading firms and market makers to take advantage of dumping the price down, and then the whales saying, okay, I'll take that for cheap, right? And then buying back up, and we're getting into this range of strength again. Ethereum got down to 4,500-ish, low 4,500-ish, now back to trying to knock on the door of 4,700 again. So nothing worries me about the PPI just yet. I feel like we're gonna still see strength. We're still gonna have a great August. I'm very confident about that in terms of at least Ethereum. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how Powell, what his tone is like next week when he talks, because it's not gonna be your typical I have to make a decision, but because PPI came in the way it is, people are going to have some speculation and, expect him to probably be a bit hawkish. We'll see what he says. That's going to be very important next week.
Yeah, 100%. And the Jackson Hole meeting of 2021 was kind of that nail in the coffin for the bull market, right? A lot of people didn't really notice it, but a lot of the big money did, right? Once he was speaking about hiking rates and stuff, and I didn't know, I didn't understand anything about rate hikes, cuts back then. I didn't know that drove the market, but now we do. Right, we're very educated this time. I think a lot of the degens are educated on market moves now, and that's going to create a different cycle, right? And I think that's what we're kind of seeing right now. But really excited for that. We're going to get into all this stuff a little bit, but let's talk about what is happening Sunday night. So this Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, OnChain Revolution, that is us, we are going to be launching a meme coin. It's a four-legged friend of somebody who is historic in the Bitcoin ecosystem, an old whale from way back then. We found something no one's really done before. But I think we are the perfect people to do this. We've been pushing Dog and a lot of other stuff with me personally, and I think it's time for us to have our own meme coin. I still love Dog. I'm still going to be pushing it nonstop. It's going to be the biggest thing in my portfolio as always. But having this new meme coin could be fun. But the whole point of this though is bring in Solana people to the runes ecosystem. Right? They're going to be buying a rune and not even realizing it, right? Because we're going to bridge in. We're going to do the initial buy. The initial buy is going to be kind of high. We want to get at least 50% of it so we can bridge that in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create vaults on Fluid tokens. We're going to talk to the team over there about getting vaults. So if you put 1,000 in, you're going to get 1,000 return 90 days later. It's kind of our way of rewarding long-term holders. I think this is going to be really awesome because we are using Rune Mine. So we're using a lot of different Bitcoin ecosystem tools as well. We're going to use dot swap. Potentially we're going to add liquidity using the fees that we get from the launch pad. So that's where that's going. And on top of that, we're going to be, Sats Terminal is going to be available for this token as well, that we're potentially going to have that trending. Hopefully we can kind of push that through the trending part of it. So with a lot of different aspects, a lot of different Bitcoin companies are going to be, potentially making money off this. And this is kind of what we want. We want to bring attention to the Rune ecosystem. And we think this is the best way that we can do this.
Yeah, I mean, no better team, I think, to kind of kick this off than OnChain Revolution because of all our connections with these builders, right? And, for the Solana side that says, well, we don't really like the Bitcoin side, there's going to be supply over there for you guys, right? But the whole idea is to kind of experiment here and show you guys, look, this can work, cross chain. And we have the infrastructure partners, we have all that stuff. And another thing, too, is like we're really close with the Runes community and people that have a large presence there that might be able to give a nudge to this community that we're building to possibly maybe one day the goal is to get onto Kraken too, right? But you know, the expectations I think should probably just be, hey, this is going to be a fun experiment that we're going to be it's going to be a part of our day to day now. So just have fun with us, and growing this community I think is the biggest and most important thing.
Yeah, and for the fact that you guys can get in dirt cheap early, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing as well. We all want to make money. We're not really going to be too involved in the number go up part of it. We were going to push it every single day, but that's not what we want. We want to bring on new people to the Runes ecosystem. We want to bring on new people to OnChain Revolution. We're going to want this thing. Obviously, the best technology to bring people on is number go up, and that's what we're going to do. So potentially, I mean, our community is going to make out the best. You guys are going to get in the earliest because you're going to be watching the stream Sunday night. You're going to see when we drop the ticker. Like everything, it's going to be the most transparent launch you've ever seen. We do have to deal with the backside of that, which is snipers, but we think by grabbing a chunk of this early, the snipers might not be too influenced to get in. They won't make as much money as they can if we didn't grab any. So that's kind of the point with that. But we're giving it all back to the holders. None of that is. There's no team allocation. I want to repeat that. There's no team allocation. We are taking that to the Bitcoin side and rewarding stakers in the fluid, and going to be adding liquidity pools. There's nothing for the team there. We just want to make sure that give you guys the best experience of holding this new token, this new Rune, this new Solana token that we are creating, and potentially onboarding a lot of new people to the Runes ecosystem.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, man. I can't wait to get into it. It's gonna be a fun live stream too, and our channel is gonna be connected to the launch because you can actually add like a YouTube link and channel to it too, and so it's gonna be like a tattoo on us basically from this point on.
It's gonna be a fun one though. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm excited.
Well, I like tattoos. I got tattoos, so.
100%. Let's get into the reason everyone watches here. So the title of the day is Bitcoin new all-time high. We hit 124 yesterday. 166 billion buy surge, absolutely insane. But there is some ETH ICO whales that are cashing in, the same as the Bitcoin whales, so nothing like that. And we got some stuff later we're going to talk about too about potential like unstaking. But right now, what do you think, man? All-time high yesterday. How you feeling with that? How are you looking at that? And seeing ETH and Bitcoin almost pass the all-time high together, that would have been a legendary, but we didn't get that push on ETH I was hoping for.
Yeah, we didn't get the push on ETH, but we got pretty darn close, 47.50, but we still have till tomorrow for your speculative I guess prediction there. And we're still within reach, we're within arm's reach of hitting that new all-time high for ETH. So we'll see if that happens. The rebound today was definitely good, and I love seeing that chart. That's the monthly chart, or is that the daily? Weekly, okay. Yeah, they all look very similar once you zoom them out, because they all show those 3 attempts and then the final. But I mean, it just, again, remember I was saying one is not like the other, and now definitely one is not like the other, right? It's just, it said, okay. And you know what the crazy thing is? If you pull up the RSI, I think the RSI on Ethereum is at like 60 right now, which is crazy, because the other, like if you look at the last attempt in 2024, RSI was past 80. Like, you know what I mean? So if we're at 60 and at this price, imagine we're going to be at 80, right? So I think that's the monthly chart, by the way, that it was at a 60 on. Actually, I can check that because I have the RSI, but I can get into that during the price action. But, that this is the best chart that, I love to continually look at. And it's just Ethereum just showing a lot of strength right now. And it just feels good. It feels like, okay, once Ethereum does crack that all-time high, then you're gonna have the beta ETH plays just start to thrive. The Shibas, the Pepes, those will definitely start to thrive, and then you'll start to see it trickle into the other parts of the cryptoverse.
100%. It's just exciting because it's something that we predicted as well. I think we're predicting this back down here that this was going to happen, and I said this week that we're going to have all-time high. I really do still think that. I think that could happen today with this buy the dip mentality that's happening right now, and people are being like, "Damn, I didn't get it at 46. I think it at 40, 45 where it hit, but I can still get it at 46. I think you're going to see a lot of that. Like I said, a lot of the bigger traders, especially the Wall Street guys, they leave their desk at 11, they come back at 1. And I think what's going to happen at lunch when they're speaking to people that are different places and stuff, when they're having their shots, right, the midday shots, because they're all alcoholics on Wall Street. But I think they're going to come back to their desk, little buzz, and they're going to say, "Fuck it, let's just buy as much ETH as we possibly can." And I think we're going to see the skyrocket. But why is it important to the Bitcoin ecosystem? ETH's the leading indicator. I say it every single day. ETH is that leading indicator that's going to take everything with it. And we need ETH to get the all-time high before we get the green flag for stuff like Dog, for stuff like Taos, for stuff like even Solana, right? Everything is depending on ETH getting back to its all-time high.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if you feel excited like I do now, imagine how you're going to feel when ETH is at 5,000, 5,100, 5,200. So I think that is truly kind of the green light, right? And we'll see how much of a green light it is this cycle, but we've known it to be the green light for the previous cycle. So it's exciting times, guys. We're just right around the corner from that.
100%. But let's get into the news story of today. So US PPI higher than expected. Headline PPI year over year 3.3, expected 2.5, previous 2.3. Core hit 3.7, expected 2.7, previously was 2.5, right? So bad numbers. This is the worst we've actually seen, but there was some good stuff happen today. So the initial jobless claims, 224K expected. The estimated was 225, so a little on that side, but the prior was 227. So we are a little less than expected, a little less than last month, but still definitely in line. So this did not hurt the markets at all. So, but this was the story of the day. Yeah,
and the thing that worries me about this is that I feel like Powell just probably smiled when he saw this because he can kind of dive into this and lean into it. Although typically the markets do react much more towards the CPI just because it's more of a mainstream and statistic. PPI, from people that knows kind of business on the fundamentals and how it gets kind of passed down, is very important. So what he can kind of use this and leverage this for is say, well, okay, well, now the expectation of the CPI is going to go up, but we'll see what that looks like, because he has to wait. We're actually in a good position though, because he has to talk next week and then he has to make a decision in September, right? What's the date in September? Is it at the end, or is
September 17th?
Okay, so and then when does CPI come in?
Probably the 11th or 12th.
Okay, so he's gonna have I thought maybe we'd have a little bit more of a pressure situation for him, but he's gonna have the data from September. Let's hope that data lags from this PPI data, because at the end of the day, I wonder how these corporations are gonna handle this. Right? How did they handle this? Did they already make statements saying that they've rolled them into pricing? Are they trying to stay out of the spotlight because they feel like they don't want to be like the company that charges more to their end user, and then they stick out as like a sore thumb? You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's a lot of different dynamics to this, because Amazon didn't want to have that line that says, this is a tariff that we're taxing or whatever.
Yeah, and the thing is too is so gas prices are dropping drastically. I'm not sure if you're seeing it in this stuff, but I'm seeing it, right? It's gas prices here in Pennsylvania is it's getting back down to where it was previously, the Trump administration, right? So what's happening potentially is the businesses are going to be paying less for gas, because you got to remember, truckloads and truckloads is very expensive gas. I'm not talking about your car ride to work. I'm talking about 19 trucks going from Ohio to Pennsylvania. Right, that's where but potentially, if the gas prices come down and tariffs go up, we might not see a big consumer inflation with the numbers, because as long as their profit margins are the same, it could balance it out. So
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm really hoping for that, because that's what we need. Right, we need for that to balance out, and then CPI too. So I mean, I wasn't even thinking about that aspect of it, that angle, and that's something that this administration has been working really hard on, is making energy costs go down, right? And that's a huge cost decrease with transportation. So hopefully that does get kind of thrown into the calculation there, and helps out a lot, because the worst thing I think that would happen would be like a super high CPI, and then all of a sudden Jerome Powell's like, well, this is what I got to do, and he has the excuse at that point.
Yeah, and you have to remember too is like some of these business, Home Depot, Lowe's, and stuff like that. They know if they jack the prices up, people aren't going to buy. They'll just wait, right? They'll just be like, I'm not going to do it. So sometimes, selling things at maybe not the right price isn't worth jacking it up and then selling none. So that's another thing these businesses have to worry about too. The consumer's already kind of broke. They're all credit cards are absolutely insane. So for the businesses like Home Depot and Lowe's to really raise prices, it might not be suitable because now I can just go to Walmart potentially and get that same item instead of going to these places. So, and we do know Walmart's usually the cheapest place to get stuff anyway, but you don't want to push people there. And Walmart might say, hey, yeah, we're losing on the cost basis, but we're selling more. So that's kind of what we potentially could be happening as well. We'll see. This is all, I know it's very boring to a lot of people, but this is the last thing on this. So this is the Fed decision for December. This was 80 this morning, and this was 8 this morning. You are seeing this be at 5 now and 75% now. So barely any change. We did see this closer to like 15 or 16. Now it's up to 21. So this is changing a little bit than no change, but this
that
really
also
got
went
cut
up
down.
though. No, it went that was at 79. The combination of 25 and 50. So yes, no change, went up one point, but also so did the chances for a rate cut.
Gotcha. All right,
which
cool.
is so
Yeah.
that's 101 if you add all that up together, right?
Yeah, but the problem is it's like a point
Rounded.
and they just round
Rounded.
it up. So
Gotcha.
Yeah. I noticed that before too, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" But yeah, I looked into it and it said it's rounded up. So
yeah,
but yeah, man. So looking forward to that. But let's get into some fun stuff here. Let's get into the reason why you guys watch the Bitcoin. So I messaged Colin Touch Crypto. I was like, "Yo, bro, I need the old these back. I'm tired of these new charts with all this craziness on it." And he actually went and he did it. So let me try to find that for you guys really quickly. I just had it. I hear this right here. All right, so Colin put out a video this morning and he actually broke it down. Let me show my screen. All right, so remember this chart? This is our beloved chart here, and it looks. I mean, remember we were down here and we were like, "This is bad."
okay, yeah.
The
deviation is what
Yeah,
he's calling it, right? Yeah, 20%. Well, I think great. I think good. I think bueno. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Like Dumb and Dumber. But yeah, so it's just following. And now if we like the opposite deviation would be I don't think we would see that. I don't think we would see another deviation after like one that we just had. So I think we just probably follow that up, which would be really great. If we follow that up there, then we'll see Bitcoin probably at that 133-ish, 130-ish, probably not too far away from where we are now. So
yeah, it does look like we're going to hit that 150, right? But this is a good sign too. We did have this dip here, and then you see this, it's coming back up now. So we're going to get potentially back to the all-time high at one, up here, and then probably past that. So Bitcoin still has a lot of room to go. And my opinion, I mean, I'm kind of looking at a dip here potentially on Bitcoin, getting 156, falling back to 138. I mean, how do you think that would be in October if we hit 156 in October, and then 3 weeks into November we go back down, but closer to December we get that upward momentum back to 148. If this plays out perfectly, which very, very not going to happen, right? But if it did, how would you feel about that for the end of the year?
I think that the dip would not be long lasting. I think it would be a kind of little, maybe like a week and a half pause and you just pull back, right? Healthy pullback probably, but this is kind of conservative, right? In terms of price speculation, speculating that Bitcoin would end the Q4 at 148. Is that what that's saying?
Basically,
or heading into December,
December at 148. Yeah.
So maybe you got about $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of room after you get there. That's just like being conservative, I think. Like if there's still that that like energy in December, yeah. So that could range from 148 to 165, something like that. What would you think? Do you think that's the play? That's how it's going to play out? Because I know for you've said possibly 230, 250. Yeah, I was in the high end of 230, 250. But what are you thinking?
For this year, I'm still on board at 250. I think we hit 250 this year, and then 700 next year. With January and February just being absolutely insane. going into the new Fed chairman. A lot of stuff happening. The tariffs are kind of in the back now. There's no reason not to go up. I think next year is going to be absolutely insane, leading into the midterms, because that's what Trump wants. Trump wants everyone to feel very rich going into midterms, because it's going to be, you're not going to want to make any changes, and I think that's what we're going to get. But I do think that it's going to be a sell point for those midterm elections and stuff like that. So that's why sell in May for me is where I'm going to take most of my profits. But I do think Bitcoin's going to be closer to 600,000-700,000 by that point.
Well, also, if you think about this, though, the momentum could continue on, though, right? So let's say that, like, he wants everybody to feel rich, and then next thing you know, like, all these corporations and stuff, like, there's, like, rate cuts are happening, millennials and younger, the Gen Z and stuff like that now can get into a house finally, because they've been kind of sidelined on that because they weren't in a position to take advantage of those low rates. The millennials we were, right? Like, but like the people younger than us weren't really, and if they were, they're really responsible with their life. They were just like ahead of everybody, right? Which is where I wish I was at their age. But my point that I'm making is that, like, they have that next shot if this happens. So next year could be a thriving year. We could either have that or the play out of getting to midterms, everything rainbows and butterflies, everybody feels good, and then the pullback. But I just don't see it like permanently pulling back from that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, you have that momentum, keep pushing, like, people feeling good of making money and stuff.
No, you're 100% right. But look, let's take a look at what happened in 2021. Like, everything peaked 2021 in November, right? But then Hex hit an all-time high of 60 cents in February, right? So you still had your laggards still running. The deep end of the risk curve was still running. I mean, I was still making tons of money in January and February, right? Up until March, until Luna crashed of 2022. So I think that potentially could happen. Then you're going to see potentially some of these companies, TradFi companies that are all so deep in crypto. They could that could be leading into your bear market potentially in like June, July, around midterms and stuff like that. So something's going to happen to shake things up. That's what these TradFi guys want. So they take profit and then they're able to get in cheaper, right? That is the ultimate game with them. So yeah, you're 100% right. But we could still peak in May, June, and then still run other stuff, still run till September.
Yeah, I do think that this current administration needs to be on top of the corporations that are maybe getting a little bit too ahead of themselves, because I mean, this is their version of degen. Degenning a bit, right? Like, not with necessarily Bitcoin and Ethereum, but once you start to kind of deviate a little bit away from that, like, you just go down the risk curve, right? Like Solana, BNB, and XO, those are pretty safe. Then you start, there's going to be more companies that want to kind of hit a big one, you know what I mean? And not the same way as us. Like, we're way down, like, like, we're trying to hit like 1,000x, 100x minimum. But they're more of like, okay, if we can get like a 20 or, off of something like Near Protocol or something that's coming up and, somewhat established and stuff like that. And we'll see. And the thing is, we don't want to 2008 a repeat of just a different industry. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like 2008, they were the lending companies, the mortgage brokers and stuff, they're basically approving a bunch of people that should never have been approved, right? The prime credit and stuff like that, which got them over their heads. So it's like, okay, now these, financial institutions that might be like C tier, D tier financial institutions, they're gambling a little bit more. How deep are they going to get over their head?
Yeah, but history always repeats. This is going to be equivalent to the .com era, in my opinion. We're going to have our .com boom, and we're going to have our .com bust. And I think this is crypto's version of that. This is the exact same playbook playing out. If you play the same playbook again, you're probably going to make a lot of money. I think we're going to get our .com boost, but that happens every 4 years, right? That's every year. You're like, I'm even thinking in my head, we're not going to have a crazy bear market. But hey, if everything runs really hard as much as I think it does, the big boys make money from destroying the markets, right? But then they'll, over time, if you buy the bottoms, if you can get some cash in May and wait for that .com bust to happen, potentially you can make tons of money going in the next 10 years. Like, if you bought Amazon during the .com crash, you bought Google during the .com crash, by 2013, 14, you are very well off. And I think we're going to get that in crypto, but who knows? And we might get a super cycle that doesn't happen until 2030. So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Get to the next thing here. Because this one's a little scary. Really got me on a little on edge this morning when I saw this. So, and by the way, shout out to Woo Blockchain. I was using Cointelegraph for the longest time. Woo Blockchain is like top-notch news. Like,
Really?
dude, I've been looking at these guys since I found some stuff last week, and I was like, holy shit, like this is where. So definitely check out Woo Blockchain. It's at Woo Blockchain on X. Best. I mean, they have way better stuff than Cointelegraph. But according to Beacon Chain data, the amount of ETH in Ethereum validator exit queue. So let me explain this for a second. So when you want to unstake your ETH, you can't just unstake it. You have to actually get into a queue, which means you have to wait for basically a certain amount of time before that ETH becomes available to you. So the queue now has been insane and has bounced back sharply with 699,000 ETH worth $3.29 billion currently waiting for exit. So look at this chart here. This is December 31st. We do know what kind of happened in January for Ethereum. January, February, March wasn't great, but we'd see this huge pump up here. And we're kind of getting that here. I mean, accelerate. Obviously, these guys, if you were staking here, you made a lot of money. So a lot of them probably want to take profit. So we just got to hope Tom Lee kind of comes in and eats some of this ETH that is probably coming into the market. But what do you think about this chart and the queue right now for the amount of Ethereum waiting to be unlocked?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of like another headline that people try to use with Bitcoin, before just to try to throw a wrench in the momentum. This was always an option, and we've known that, right? In terms of unstaking and stuff like that. And that doesn't mean that like they're all gonna sell. You know what I mean? But I mean, it doesn't. This is scary. This is definitely scary. The thing is can the momentum from SharpLink and Tom Lee, that demand continually create the demand that they've created to really eat this up? If it's, let's say, like 70% of this is going to be sold down, right? Because I'm thinking, like, are they going to sell this down and go into Bitcoin because they think Bitcoin's going to run up again? But if you do look at the previous cycles, once Ethereum does go up against Bitcoin, it doesn't typically go bleed out as hard for the rest of that cycle. In fact, it rides up as Bitcoin rides back up, and almost 1-to-1, if not even a little faster, because people know that like it's alt season is right around the corner. And so it's going to be interesting to see, because this has always been kind of like with proof of stake. It's always been like kind of like this scenario that people are like, what if this happens? Like, because they're gonna have their rewards, right? And I just don't know if it's smart for them to even sell, right? Because if they think that like Ethereum is going to get to 7,000, 6,500 in, let's say, a couple months, 3 or 4 months, why would they sell right now? Maybe it's the fact that like they just want to be ready, because like you do have to be in a queue, and they want to start that process of just, okay, I want to make sure that I'm not like struggling to get my stake. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not struggling to get my staked ETH out, because it's going to, and there's going to be a long queue for that. And then also, I think that like if there's a true belief in what Tom Lee and SharpLink are doing and saying, remember, MicroStrategy didn't sell very much at all starting 2022. I know that was at the end of last bull cycle, but we'll see what MicroStrategy does at the end of this cycle. It's going to be very important, but we're not talking probably until like next year, right? Maybe like January, February next year. So just maybe getting ready and prepared for that maybe is what they're doing.
Yeah, you have to remember too. So the ETH staking started in 2020, right? November 2020. That was when you could officially put your stuff in there and get ready for the merge. The merge was 2022. So a lot of people were locked for a little while. So a lot of these guys that entered were entering at $300 ETH. Right. So some of them might be like, okay, this is my price zone. But you got to remember, this happened with Bitcoin. 80,000 Bitcoin got sold by an ancient Bitcoin whale. We need that to happen. We can't have, we can't have whales having billions of dollars of this. They need to sell down for new people to enter the market. Right. So this is a part of, the pecking order. This is a part of natural stuff. Like if the Amazon holders held Amazon from 97 till now, I mean, it's just too much in one hand. We needed to break that up, because it gets scary when, this guy's holding $19 billion of ETH, right? That's really bad. So we need them to do it now. So as ETH gets higher, it's we don't have these giant whales. And maybe some of them, hey, dude, like I made $19 million on this, right? Or whatever it is, right? So I think this is actually a good thing. I do want to see more of this because strong hands are buying as well. I mean, Tom Lee comes out right after this happened and he says ETH reaching 7,500 by year end. I mean, we're talking 70% from where we're at now, and 25,000 by 2028 would validate it as arguably one of the biggest macro trades over the next decade. My target for Ethereum is, I think 7,500. I think my target for Ethereum is $9,000 this year, and then $18,000 next year, and then I'm predicting in 2030 that ETH hits like 60 grand. I think ETH's kind of it's like one cycle behind Bitcoin. So I think it's been hitting Bitcoin's targets, right? Even with the supply a lot higher than Bitcoin's. But yeah, so I do think that potentially ETH's going a lot higher. 25,000 by 2028. I think it's very conservative.
Yeah, this is a follow-up kind of breakdown, I think, from his initial statement of ETH being the macro trade of this decade, and giving the detail in there. I really like that. 7,500 by end of 2025 is something that I no longer take lightly, because he made that statement. And I say that because if you look at Tom Lee's history and you've looked at his speculative predictions, he's been within range. And when I say within range, I mean like very close. And because of that, he's just developed a lot of respect from the space, right? TradFi and crypto, I mean, they're merging now, but man, he's like the perfect guy to have at the head face of your company at this point. You know what I mean?
I know.
And like, even though I know there was a lot of Bitcoin maxis that probably cringed whenever he made the decision to pivot from holding Bitcoin to acquiring all that Ethereum, they didn't come after him because they know that like he knows what the hell he's talking about, right? And so this is huge, man. And this is another thing that this is what Ethereum needs, though. Ethereum needs a Tom Lee. Tom Lee is like Superman for Ethereum, honestly. Because at that moment, SharpLink, I always give them their credit. They started the treasury, kind of the MicroStrategy playbook. But Tom Lee, you need a face still. Saylor is the face for the Bitcoin side.
Well, Joe Lubin came out with SharpLink, and he's now the face of SharpLink. Joe Lubin is one of the Ethereum founders.
But I mean, who's in the lead in terms of holdings, and who has more of a effect? Like Tom Lee does.
100%,
he does. Yeah. Like we all been talking about Tom Lee, no matter if it's like the ordinal hive spaces, which we get into TradFi. You guys should join that if you're into kind of the macro stuff, the discussions and stuff. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern, right? Anyways, it's on X, ordinal hive spaces. But anyways, we talk about it there. We talk about it on the show. We talk about Tom Lee's everywhere. I mean, he's just all over the place. And because he made this pivot, now like it and SharpLink started it, but like he really pushed that. And I feel like it's going to be really hard, just like how it was hard to like whenever the 80,000 Bitcoin were sold down by Galaxy Digital. Bitcoin took that like a champ. Yes, it did fall back, 3,000-5,000, but what's 3,000-5,000 when you're at 120, right? You know what I mean? And then you bounce back as well. Like you see the bounce, the strength, and that's because of all of the conviction that these huge institutions, Michael Saylor, all these faces, all these like just constant ETF flow, and now that energy has transitioned over to Ethereum. It's still there with Bitcoin, but not as intense, but enough to where it can take blows still. And now Ethereum's the one that can take the blows. So that's an exciting place to be for Ethereum.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And if these guys are excited by the opportunity of picking up cheap ETH, right? So I mean, and I still think it's cheap. I think they consider it this cheap. We'll see. I mean, only time will tell, and we're gonna be paying attention to this every single day. That's why you guys have got to watch our show every single day, because we're getting more and more coverage of more and more that's happening in the space. But let's jump in to the next segment here, and we're going to jump into one of my favorite segments, which is the crypto fear and greed. And I cannot find there it is. All right. Okay, so last week we're at a 54. Yesterday we're at a 63. We're a lot higher than I expected. I mean, we're not 70, but I'm not saying we're not close.
67?
I don't know. right there, 68. I'll give it to you. But yeah, so I think that this is very fair. I do think that tonight's going to be 65, depending on what is still happening. I mean, yeah, ETH just kind of dumped. Wow, ETH just dumped hard there. So yeah, I'm kind of expecting 67. But we'll see. Or I'm sorry, like in the probably closer to 60 with this number here. So
60.
But yeah, man.
I feel like that might be a little too much. We'll see what happens this afternoon, though.
But 4% now.
Yeah, 4%. So I think maybe like depending if we bounce back at all this evening. But yeah, 60 could be on the plate. It could be on the table. We'll see.
For sure. All right, let's get into that Bitcoin crypto price action and crypto bubbles here. So brought to you guys by the great people at Artura.finance. Artura, they are live, guys. Botonics tweeted them this morning. They're going to be the #1 DApp on Botonics. I guarantee it, guys. You need to get over there. You need to go over there and bridge some Bitcoin, or you can bridge some USDC over to Botonics, and you guys can play. Get on that leaderboard. It's stupid not to. It really is. If you don't like free money, I mean, I don't know. I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all. So get over there. I'm over there. Yagobi over there. Do low leverage, low money. It's easy to get on that board. You only got a couple more weeks. I think that something's going to happen in a few weeks that's going to make you very happy that you played and you trusted us to be over there. I'm telling you, Botonics is going to be something special, and playing on their top dexes and potentially airdrops from every single DApp over there is going to probably happen. I'm not even joking. Like Botonics is probably one of the ecosystems that's going to reward you the hardest. So get over there. We're going to put up an airdrop video this Sunday, kind of walking you guys through everything that is happening over there, see how you guys can maximize your airdrop. But Artura is going to be the #1 place you can do that, and you guys can potentially right now low leverage, low money, put it in there, lock in a $5 long on Bitcoin using 25x leverage or whatever you guys want to do, and get started. But you only do that at Artura.finance.
Yep. Exciting stuff. And we're going to make an announcement on maybe during the Sunday live stream of a new show that we're starting with that team. It's going to be on Tuesday, but we'll give you guys the details of that probably on Sunday evening. But before we get into the price action here, guys, if you guys could help us out, we did get a little bit of a slow start on X because X was bugging. So if you could share the spaces, this live stream on X, we would greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome because you guys always help us out. Same thing on YouTube. If you could sub and hit that like as well, turn your notifications on so you know when we go live Monday through Friday. Abstract, Twitch, Kick, Spotify, all of the channels that we're on. We appreciate all of our communities from all of those channels. But let's get into some price action, guys. We're going to start with Bitcoin here.
Stan, okay. We're going to get into your question as soon as the price action's over. Promise.
Yep. We'll start off with that. We appreciate that super chat. We'll get right into that. But here, let's take a look at Bitcoin's price action with the hour chart. Obviously, you guys know that since the PPI came out, it was kind of the thing to do was to dump Bitcoin and Ethereum this morning. We got all the way up to 124, 529. And I kind of hate those all-time highs, the ones that like just barely, I always say tag and then run away. But this one was even a little bit more annoying just because of this morning. But yeah, it's always a good feeling though whenever it does hit an all-time high, even if it's not the all-time high you necessarily wanted. But you can see here the sell pressure is pretty intense, guys. We have been kind of battling at this 117.5 118 level this morning, and I just feel like there's a lot of buy the dippers that came in and said, hey, this is stupid, this is this is perfect, thank you, basically, for cheap Bitcoin and cheap Ethereum, because they believe Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to do what it's done for the past 3 months, 4 months, and that's really soldier through all of the bad headlines, and that's what Bitcoin's done for sure. And Ethereum hasn't had too many of those after it really started to show strength, so this is a good test for Ethereum. But let's take a look here for the Bitcoin side. You can see the MACD is still showing that the sell momentum is still here, the sell pressure is still here. It's pretty intense. The volume down here isn't that much, though. You can see that it's pushed back here, but in all the areas, well, actually no, it is starting to pick up here a bit. And that makes sense too, because people were selling down so much. But this is going back to 1 a.m. this morning, and that's Central Time, by the way. But you can see here at the 118.320, we are like in a battle, the support, when I say we, I'm talking about the support is losing the battle here against the resistance at a high volume area too. So that's not good, because what that means is there's a lot of sell orders that are coming down, pushing down in this area. And so we definitely need to have support below that, and we're not seeing that either. The closest balancing out gets down to the 117,800 down here, and we're still losing barely by a tiny bit here. But you can see, like, you know, when we get back up to 118,500, though, it is more even. It's definitely more balanced. But the problem is getting up there is going to be tough unless we get some huge bids that just, you know, push us up there. And even if that happens, you know, it's easy to fall back here. So we got to be careful right here. You know, Bitcoin's really got to, you know, be a bit strong in this area, and it's not looking like that's happening. But we'll see. It's at least hanging. It's not like free falling yet. But like I said, you know, down here we have some support. Over here we're losing at the 116 or 118 level, and then 118,300 we're also losing. It gets more balanced up here, but we're losing above that. So it's kind of, and then we're winning here at the 119 level. So if we can get back to 119, that would be good, because we're winning here, and here as well. And then there's no volume, so we could actually jump straight up to 120 if we can somehow get out of this quicksand that we're in right here. So I think we just got to really weather the storm at 118, low 118, 117,500 on the hour chart for the new next 2, 4, 6 hours. We got to weather this storm right here, and it's gonna be tough, though, I'll tell you that. You can see here that the fast line it's not pointing straight down, but it's definitely pointing more down than it is up. We want this to turn, so we need some big bids to come in, some whales to really start to buy up Bitcoin. And I'm talking about huge institutional whales to kind of kick us back up. But we'll see. I'm just saying, be careful right here, because we could see another like a free flowing down to 116, even 116.5 or something like that, if we lose control here, because there's no volume. When there's no volume, and it's heavy on one side, that's whenever things either fly up or can bleed fast. So, but so far we are at least surviving the 118, low 118, high 117 area. We got to keep that up, though. All right, so that's the hour chart. Let's take a look here at the 4 hour. This is not great either. You see, like, the sell pressure just started on the 4 hour. I don't like this, what I'm seeing here. You can see here that, like, we just started the MACD sell down on the 4 hour. Ugh, this is nasty. Okay, the support and resistance as well, kind of the same situation. It's going to just be at a higher scale, right? So you can see here, we're just losing the battle here at the 118, low 118, and then right here at the high 117. It's closer, but no volume here. So, man, I don't know. One thing that can turn this around, though, is a big headline, you know, positive headline or something like that. Let's hope for that, because again, Bitcoin has been able to take these punches and stuff like that. So we'll see how it reacts to this kind of little bit of a dangerous situation, it seems like here. But that's what I see for the 4 hour. The weekly looks very similar setup until, you know, we either lose, you know, this upper, you know, like close to 120 range, 116 to 120 range. If we kind of dip below that and we start to head down to the 113s again and stuff like that, we're sitting at red right now. So if it maintains this way, let's say we continue with the downtrend, we might finish the week with a red candle. We're going to see on Sunday, though. That would not be the best of situations, but you know, because we are starting to exhaust and lose control from losing the buy pressure right here, as you see on the MACD. So yeah, I don't know. It's not feeling too great, but we'll see what happens for the next couple of days, and then Sunday we'll have that weekly candle. But that's what Bitcoin looks like. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum on the hour chart is giving us some similar vibes to Bitcoin, just because, you know, they're both kind of dumping a bit today, but the dump for Ethereum feels not as bad, I guess you could say. We're still at 4,600. We've been ranging between high 45s to 46.50. Haven't gotten back to 47 since this dump has happened. The hour MACD does look a little bit better though for Ethereum. You can start to see the fast line curl up a little bit. So maybe we get a little bit of a boost from Ethereum's price action, and Ethereum, starts to have a little bit of success again. That could happen. We could see that. That would be interesting to see. Ethereum having some strong success while Bitcoin may be bleeding out some, because we have seen Ethereum have much more success than it has previous to June, right? And it seems to get stronger too every month, right? So we'll see if it can kind of actually do the opposite, even more intense, because the Bitcoin dominance chart has been going down. We know that. That means Ethereum's outperforming, Bitcoin, but to see it actually like go in intense, like in one direction up and Bitcoin maybe going down, we haven't seen that quite yet, like in an intense way. So we'll see what happens. Looking good though on the hour chart. And then let's zoom out a little bit here. Let's go back to the weekly. That's the chart that Shizzy had up earlier. The weekly looks really good, much better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's weekly, you saw a lot of exhaustion, right? Here we're still looking really strong, right? So that narrative just continually getting punched out to media outlets by Tom Lee, by SharpLink, saying this is the macro trade of the decade and stuff. That's what's going to keep this strong and keep us above, these other three attempts at 4,000. So I like where we are on the weekly chart. It looks amazing. Let's take a look at the monthly. The monthly is great as well. And we got to remember too, if you're like worried about Ethereum right here, I mean, this chart right here should make you feel better. Now, doesn't mean that it's always, stuck in this like amazing situation, right? I mean, if everything goes horrible this month, then of course, this MACD indicator candle will go down some, and then we'll see this come back down. But I don't see that. Look how long it's been since we've been with the green candle, like February of 2025, right? So, and this is a strong green candle too. So I feel like there's a lot of noise, distraction, shaking people out for like today, right, with the PPI and stuff. We'll see how it carries over to the next couple of weeks. But I feel great about Ethereum. I think Ethereum's in a great spot when you zoom out on the weekly. Even the daily is probably not horrible, maybe a little bit. So, okay, look, this is the daily chart. We just lost some exhaustion just now. But again, look, this turned white and then green again back in July. So we could see something similar to that. So just today just might be a red day in general. We had a green day yesterday, so it's not always going to be green candles only. All right, Ethereum looks really good there. Let's take a look here at the crypto bubbles. Let's go to the top 100 here. Everything's most likely going to be red, right? As you see here, it's like a 90% to 10% ratio, maybe 10%. That's me being nice. This might be 95.5. You can see the green one sticking out, which is interesting. You got Cardano in the green. They must have had some good headlines there. ADA is up 5.4%. You got HTX Weibo up 3.7%. OKX token still up 3.6%. Remember, they burned half of their supply, so that's probably why that is shooting up. And then also Radium is up 5.8%. That one's interesting. And then you got Saros up 2% there. Tron kind of down here by its lonesome, up 1%.
The ones that are up though are the ones that are up a lot going into today. So
it was just like hard. It was hard to pull those back, right?
Cardano was at $1, and right now it's like 92 cents. So
gotcha.
I mean, yeah, it pulled back 8%, but it's still up 5%.
Yeah. And then you got KuCoin, KCS up to 3.4%. But some of the notables that have pulled back significantly, you see Tau down 6% here, Bonk down 7%, Pengu down 8.5%, SPX I feel like SPX has been down kind of recently, down 12.2%, Dog Whiff down 9.4%. Look how much Solana's meme coin ecosystem has just like thrived this cycle though. I know that they're all red right now, but these are all in the top 100 guys. Like SPX, Pengu, Whiff, Bonk. That's quite a bit. just for it having its first true hype cycle. I feel like that's wild. Okay, cool. Let's look at some other. Pump is down 6.7%. FARTCOIN, I didn't even talk about them. They're down 4.3%. You got Sonic pulled back 5.3%. HBAR pulling back 3.9%. Curve Finance pulling back 7.7%. You got Uniswap pulling back 7.8%. ICP pulled back 5.2%. AVAX pulling back 4.2%, Jasmy pulling back 8.3%, and Quant pulling back 4.6%. The ETH meme coins haven't had their time to shine just yet, and I think that's going to be a pivotal moment. By the way, Pepe's pulled back 7.3%. Sheeb's probably pulled back somewhere. Floki's pulled back 7.3%. I can't find it on here, but anyways, I'm sure it's red. But yeah, once those start to really run, man, that's going to be an indicator in my opinion. Trump pulled back 5.6%. Mutable X pulled back 6.4%. Yeah, Pulse pulling back 1% here. Monero pulling back 0.9%. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. Oh, okay. We got
Useless. Wow.
Yeah, well, they got a Useless was the Coinbase announced that they're listing them yesterday.
God, wow, that's incredible.
Well, Useless has been getting beat up on the timeline because you have like people like Scooter and other people that are just more on the pump fund side, trying to. But then like this is a big deal for Bonk Funds ecosystem for them to get listed on Coinbase. So that's the reason why they had a huge jump up here. Barra Chain down up 4.2%. That's interesting. SKL up 81.6%. I got to figure out what that is. Mog pulled back 7.7%. Dog pulled back 7.5%. What else? We got B pulling back 9.5%. This is on Binance Chain, so meme coin. You got Meme Land pulling up 3% here. Ape Chain pulling back, ApeCoin pulling back 5% there. ZBCN pulling back 6.7%. Zora had a really good couple days, almost a full week last week, but they have pulled back 6.5%. Luna Classic is in the top 200 is just wild to me. It's pulled back 6.3%. Sandbox pulling back 5.9%. Starknet pulling back 9.1%. Gala pulling back 7.9%. I don't ever hear people talk about Gala anymore. Yeah, so that is going to be the crypto bubbles, guys. And as always, if you guys ever want us to check any of these altcoins that you might be in or you're curious about, let us know. But I'm going to pass it to Shizzy to do some roll call, and we kick it off with Stan's super chat there.
Yeah, jump right into that first. So Stan says, recently I've received access to the base beta app. Wow, congratulations, because I would love that. And he said, it's cool. In the channel's opinion, how close is the Web3 in closing the Web2 UX gap? I think we're a Web2 company away, right? I don't know. I don't see the gap that maybe you see, Stan. I actually see, the connecting the MetaMask or connecting your wallet really isn't a big deal. But, I am skewed because I love crypto and I've been here for a long time and it's gotten better and better since I've been here. I've been here since August 2020. So, the differences from there to here, are absolutely insane. Do it in the next 5 years, I do think it'll get to that level. But to me, it's not that big of a gap anymore. What do you think?
No, not at all. And the big reasons are because, first of all, regulations, and then two, companies that know how to make the user experience really good, like Privy. Being able to not have to download. The problem before was you would have to download a different app like MetaMask, and then within the MetaMask try to find the app that you want. And so now the app can be an standalone app, and you can actually use Privy to use your Gmail account, and they'll just create the wallet address for you within that Gmail account. And that is the gap is actually starting to close very quickly. And so I think sooner than later, you're going to have a lot of people using Web3 that don't even realize it.
Yeah, 100%, especially with Stripe and coming online here. Everyone's going to be swiping a credit card soon, and it's going to be done through blockchain rails. When you send a wire in the future, it's going to be done through blockchain rails, right? Everything's going to be on blockchain. You're not even going to know The stupid people are the ones who have to go to the bank for this stuff. We're gonna be able to do it right from our wallets or our phones in the middle of a park, right? So it depends on what kind of user you want to be. You want to be a Web2 user and actually stand in line at a bank? That's up to you. I'm going to be in the middle of the park making $1,000 transactions.
Trading node monks and stuff. But
100%.
real quick though, I think Privy is whoever started Privy, like they're gonna make out like a bandit. Whoever's like the investors with
Didn't
Privy.
Stripe buy them?
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because that Privy to me, that's been the biggest game-changing thing to onboard normies.
I hate it. I hate using it.
Well, like, I think we're so used to the old way.
Yeah.
But they won't. They'll like it. They'll like it.
Yeah.
The newbies.
I hate it though. I want to control my assets. I don't like a centralized platform. Like I don't even like keeping my stuff on exchanges. I treat exchanges like I treat like a bathroom at McDonald's. I go in, do my business, and get out. I'm not going to stay in there and hang out, right? Or it's not my style. I don't know about you guys, but all right, let's jump into the roll call here. So on this channel, we do a thing called First is First. We take the first comment on YouTube and put it on a chart here. And I want to say congratulations to KDN. You, my friend, have your first win of the year. I think it's your first win of the year. Like I said, I'm going to go through this chart this weekend. I'm going to make sure that I usually do it on the weekends. I kind of go through, make sure everything, but I'm pretty sure it's your first win of the year. So congratulations to you. Appreciate you, my friend. You're somebody who's been in here every single day. We're not giving you the love that you deserve, man. Having you in our community means everything. You, my friend, are an absolute legend, and we appreciate you. He says, let's go, pump it, my man. And then Mr. Hanky is here. He says, let's effing go, Billy Cats. So, Mr. Hanky, dude, I love you, brother. The Billy Cats has been something you've been hyping up, and I might buy some here because of you, my friend. Absolute legend that you are. Tim Baker, AOD himself, he swears Webdro, and Webdro says, congrats, KD. He's like, I'm just late, Tim. Yeah, man, appreciate you guys, man. KD answers, thanks, Webdro. 1+ says pump it up, or pump to pump. I get the picture of 1+ just in the gym, bro, just fucking pumping iron for sure. My guy Mats is here, so congrats, KDN. Rare Sats Dom is here. Merlin's lucky. Throws a Merle hashtag in there. Appreciate that, man. Lackey Lukey's here, so congrats, KDN. Moon Yacht Club. It's been a while, my friend, but he puts the Moon Yacht and then a club. I do like that. It's pretty dope. FLDT arbitrage. Yes, I've been actually doing that. You can actually go to the Fluid Discord and you can actually ask them to make it a Cardano token for you from the Bitcoin side and actually cash out that way and probably make thousands of dollars depending on how much you want to do. But yeah, man, Hydro Sapien is here, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend. Bitcoin is truth. GMG, I appreciate you, my friend, guys, every day. Abstract says Abstract is easily the best opportunity in crypto. Do you agree with that? You think Abstract's one of the biggest opportunities in crypto?
I think it is one of the biggest opportunities in crypto that's kind of been slept on. But there's multiple opportunities within crypto. I think like the Abstract has the opportunity to onboard a ton of normies that can kind of like, I feel like they have opportunity to build like cult style stuff, right? Because the branding is strong. Everything is supportive of Pengu, of what was their NFT collection called again? Did you just go
Pudgy Penguins?
Pudgy Penguins, yeah. That's
yeah. I started thinking about the collections on Abstract, and I'm like, the Bears? But I know what you're talking about.
So everything, like, so it's so crazy. Like, the way that Luke has done it is like, Pudgy Penguins are at the top, and then you got Pengu, then you got Abstract, then you got Abster, you got you got all these other meme coins, and it's like it flows all together so well. Really, and then you got the streaming side, which hasn't even really taken like flight yet, right? And so I just feel like it's such a big opportunity to be a part of something early that can turn very viral and cultish. You know what I mean? Once everybody's like, once they don't even realize they're using Web3 and they're just like, this is a cute penguin or whatever, you know what I mean? And like, you have a plush Pudgy penguin in every like little kid's bedroom or whatever, you know what I mean? And in the next 10 years and stuff. And that will happen because that's just how his mind works as a business. It's all about branding. It's all about growth. It's all about bringing normies in.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Chips and Dip says PPI hot. Yeah, it came in hot today. K99 says, why did everything dip? Well, the PPI. So that is why. Spindrift says, love the news from the trenches yesterday. Yeah, we're going to be doing that in a few minutes, actually. So we'll get into that. Vader Time says, it's bounce back time. Yeah, you were right. I guess you're right. I don't know if it's bouncing back. Oh, yeah, 46.23 for Ethereum. I don't even look at Bitcoin as much as I look at Ethereum anymore because Ethereum's just that indicator right now.
Well, because like before, like Ethereum, when Bitcoin would get gut punched, Ethereum would get slammed and like stomped. So now it's like, now Ethereum's strong. So we'll see.
100%. Satoshi Nakamoto, yo, we got Satoshi Nakamoto watching our show every day, man. Absolutely awesome. Nighthawk UXL says, Buenos dias, higher. Good morning, higher, right? I don't know. My Spanish is a little off. Okay.
I think that's
my
right.
Guy. Glass Hopper is here. Shout out to Glass Hopper. Says good morning. Chief Axel says GM, my guy, appreciate you. Myself says looks like the bots sold Bitcoin at 618 fib retracement, then found support on the daily 21 EMA. I have no idea what we were talking about, but I hope Yagobi does.
So in that new Artura series, you should definitely join us. Maybe you can come on as a guest, man. We can get you connected with that team. They're looking for people that are good at charting, trading and looking to build community. So let us know if you're interested. Would love to have you on. You obviously know what you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I would absolutely love that myself. I'd love to meet you. You seem like somebody very knowledgeable that I could actually learn from. So that'd be awesome. ASAP Benji is here. He says, GM, my guy. He said the CPI is poor a metric to determine the current state of the economy. That's why macro. Yeah, I understand 100% get what you're saying. Like everything is so manipulated, but we just got to go off what they go off, right?
Yeah,
we have to see
because they control it.
Want to point. They control it. Exactly.
But he's right though. Like the way they do that is like reading the newspaper. So like every region has a Fed officer and department, and then they send people out into like the grocery stores in like the Midwest, the South, the Southwest, all these things, and they come back, they're like, oh, here's my receipts.
Yeah. And all you got to do is to contact the credit card companies, and you can see, you'll be able to pull up data sheets about how much everything costs on a daily basis. Like,
dude, I don't even think they even do anything. I just like put the receipts over there. We're just gonna
use the typewriter. Put the Cash Cats is here with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon.
Let's
go.
To
Cash Cats, man. Cash, I hope you get into our meme coin on Sunday. I would love for you to be a part of that community, man. Absolutely legendary yourself. Like I said, it will be a rune. 50% of it, and then hopefully we can bridge over 90% of it. That'd be amazing. Stan said, what's the channel's opinion on liquid staking after exploits? I'm a huge fan of large liquid staking. I'm talking Lido, I'm talking Curve. I am a huge highly against staking from non-things. What happens is a lot of the times too is you have to trust them with your assets, right? When you're liquid staking, it's centralized for the most part. I mean, it might be some decentralized, but for the most part, it is centralized, so they can earn yield on your asset. That's how they're able to give you yield on it. That's why it's you stake it because you can get yield. So I'm a completely highly recommend Curve, Lido, and stuff like that for ETH. I'm totally against everything else.
Yeah. You do a little bit protect yourself a little bit with the liquid staking because you get the synthetic version of your token at a little bit of a discounted rate.
Not on ETH. It's higher.
Yeah. Is it? Why would you? Yeah. Why would I don't get that. But anyways,
yield. Yeah.
Okay, so basically they're just giving you a little bit more because they're earning off of your stuff.
And there's arbitrage too. So
yeah.
Just take it and then immediately sell it, right? And then just do it that way. But it's usually higher because like every month you wake up, you have more ETH than you had last month.
Yeah. So what are the pulls for the synthetics though? Is it pulled against like stable, or is it pulled against the ETH?
ETH?
Okay, because if the exploit happens, then your liquid your synthetic token, does it automatically go to zero, or is there another kind of market for that? Because I know there's some separate markets. There's like, you can go, you're going to sell your synthetic token at a different rate than what your ETH is worth. But like if the exploit happens, then there's no liquidity, so it's zero, right, for that token?
Yeah. So this happened to me. I was on Phantom. I had the I think it was, what that company called, it was that bridge, the multi-chain. I had multi-chain ETH, right? because I bridged it in. So it's very similar to liquid staking. It's the same thing. You're giving access to your ETH. You're getting a paper copy on the side. Multi-chain CEO got like kidnapped by
I
the
remember that.
CCP, and then it went to zero. Like my ETH was zero. I couldn't bridge it out. I couldn't trade it. Like it was zero. So like no, like I could get like $6 for it, but there was people coming in and buying it, hoping it like got back to peg, or they were able to open the vault, but it never happened. So same thing would happen if Lido like CEO got like taken and they had no access to the ETH. Your Lido ETH would go to zero and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I look at it just like any centralized aspect of our space. I mean, there's that chance. Whether I hate to bring up Odin again, whether it's like something like Odin or Stacks had an exploit with Alex, right? You take that risk, and if you don't want to take that risk, then you just don't, you give up the chance to earn the rewards through liquid staking. And I do think that the standards start to change though, because if there's corporations that want to come into this game, that's not a typical brand like Lido or Aave and stuff like that. And we're talking about coming from TradFi and saying, hey, we have our book of business that wants to do this. They are going, in my opinion, they're going to be more in like the by the book type of Better Business Bureau mentality. You know what I mean? Like, so set up multiple security layers and all these things to try to, there's going to be more and more investment. And I think that standard just gets better over time because things get better over time. You know what I mean? Like with technology and being able to prevent things and stuff like that. And I think that the exploit stuff gets better over time until we run into a, innovative technology that might, but you match it, you try to match it. I think there hasn't been so much of an urgency to focus so many resources on that up until probably what we're going to go into in the next couple of years, because these TradFi companies and institutions that are public, they can't, they operate different than a Lido, than a decentralized application,
But at the same time, though, they can get hacked. All the ETH can be wiped out real quickly, and that goes to zero. Right?
They can,
so, but they have to have enough money, enough resources to be able to compensate for that, right? If they have a big treasury, then you're not worried because they'll take the loss themselves, right? Until they can figure out how to get that ETH back.
That was the biggest thing you said. They'll 100%. Take the loss. They'll take the loss themselves because the way they do business is relationships. The way that Lido and Aave do business is not relationships.
Well,
or
they're decentralized.
That's what I'm saying.
There's the foundation that supports them, but the foundation can't do anything.
Yeah, no. So I see what you're saying, and that's kind of the world that we've lived in and we understand. But we also have lived in the world of Web 2 and all these other things too. So what I'm saying, I think there's going to be two different types of services offered. You have the decentralized one where there's no relationship between the brand and the end user, really, other than you earn this if you do this. But you have the ability to decide if you want to do it or not. The risk and with exploits and all that stuff. The other offering is going to be like, hey, thank you for being our customer. If you stake here, we'll get you this return. You're protected by this, and that. And that's just how they do business, and they will do that. They'll continue to do business that way. They'll look for the opportunity here. They'll take on the risk. They'll take on the risk, but for them it's worth it because the more business and volume they get, the more profit they earn in revenue.
But then you're going to get no yield from that either, right? You're going to get like 1%
smaller
because, and then a decentralized. I would actually, I trust Lido and Curve and Aave more than I trust a centralized bank. But that's just me. That's just my tinfoil hat on my head and stuff like that. So, and I'd rather these decentralized protocols make more money, and that way the Aave token goes up in value and stuff like that. It supports the ecosystem. But that's just a crypto native person like myself that would rather support them than support JP Morgan.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but there will be that group of people that just they do like the relationship. It's like the old like money 100%. People, right? They know their banker, they know their banker's family. They go to their bar mitzvahs, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
I love you bar mitzvah because we know.
Well, I mean, like actually, like I know very few, but like down here in Texas. But I mean, I just thought of like I don't know, like a banker.
You called them Jewish. It's all good. It's all good.
They're good with the money. They're good with the money.
Mo ICP is here. Says Web3 all. Abdul United, my guy. I miss you, brother. He said, "What ETH and NFT would you buy to increase my ETH position? I have 1.5 ETH." So there is a collection, but technically, for me, if you want to do a quick research on this, I kind of have mine off the top of my head. So there's a collection on Abstract, right? Abstract use ETH. You have to bridge your ETH over there, but Bearish. I am super bullish on Bearish, which kind of sounds weird saying
what's the floor?
The floor is $500. It's like 0.1. I think this is the number one. This is the number one collection on Abstract, and I do know that they have IP rights. So this is like an IP collection. Luke is all over this, right? He's benefiting these guys, and I think that this is super low. And I actually would grab one of the ice cubes because the ice cubes are unrevealed. Unrevealed.
Ooh,
yeah,
I love that kind of stuff, bro.
Exactly. It's 70% higher than the floor, but I think grabbing one of these would be your bet. I mean, if you have 1.5 ETH, I mean, this grabbing one of these and holding it. But got to remember, this is a long-term hold. This isn't something you're going to make money on in December. But I think in January, February, as long as the market keeps going the way I think it's going to go, I think these could go for 1 ETH, 2 ETH minimum. Yeah. Minimum in the future.
Yeah. So that is more ETH for you. But and the thing about him, Luca, is he looks at every aspect of the brand as a challenge for success. He's just one of those motivated entrepreneurs that's like, tell me I can't do it. Tell me I can't do. Remember, like the whole like he was like, I'm gonna mop everybody up. Like that was like, I'm gonna mop everybody up. You know, and he has that confidence, and it's a genuine confidence. You can hear 100%. It. So, and I know we're just talking about like a little collection, but like it trickles down to that, man. Like the abstract ecosystem, I have a lot of confidence in it. Me too. But yeah, but if I'm looking at Ethereum NFTs, just on Ethereum, 1.5 ETH, I would probably maybe go with like the mutant. I know that, like, I don't know a ton, but maybe like I think the apes probably have enough firepower once everything is hot that like they'll probably be hot again. So maybe the mutants at like 7,800 could be a decent play, or the little pudgies. That's little like pudgies. The secondary pudgy penguins. It's their secondary play. So if pudgies get to like 6 figures. Yeah,
if you bridge it to abstract as well, then you get that bonus every week for the abstract airdrop.
XP.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say one of those two, and those fit perfectly in the price range of 1.5 ETH.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is exactly 1.15. You have a little bit more, but yeah, I think this is little pudgies definitely. I mean, I think the pudgy penguins are going to go to $1 million
6 figures
one day. So yeah, little pudgies could be really could 6 figures, yeah, for sure. Then we got my man MoChain is here. He says Web3 apps mostly run on Web2 technology. Difference can't be matched. Yeah, very, very true. Very true. Milan Muris is ready for the Bulls. I am ready, my friend. And Cash Cat says planning. Yeah, Cash Cat's gonna be part of the drop. That's gonna be awesome. Mike Hall, thank you so much for being here today. So take profits now before the pullback. Move over to Shadow. Watch the magic already climbing. I'm not really sure what you're talking about there. Climbing 15% right now. I'm not sure what that is, buddy.
Take profit now before the pullback. Move over to Shadow and watch the magic. Shadow, isn't Shadow like the Sonic?
That's not the ticker though.
Okay. Yeah. But good shield there. We don't know what that is.
All right. Let's get into the news from the trenches. I feel like we need music for this. The news from the trenches, like something like that. But yeah, so every day now we're going to be jumping into the trenches, see what was happening over there. So if you don't know what the trenches are, it's the Solana trenches. It's deep degen stuff. Covered by us every day. Yagobi's going to be down there with his umbrella, making sure he doesn't get rained on by the bloodshed that happens in the trenches. But let's jump right into it, brother.
And before that, I'm always going to say this disclaimer: this is not an endorsement to buy any of these extremely degenerate tokens. The thing about Solana is they are playing the bit of the role of ETH DeFi from 2020 and 2021 to where the early days to where there was a lot of opportunities to hit. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about a token. Again, I'm not saying buy this token. In fact, if you had to choose one or the other, I'd say probably don't, because I know there's still a high possibility that it could maybe not do what I think it's going to do. But the token I'm going to talk about today is stupid. That's the name of the token. So that's a great start for the trenches, right? So I hit on this token a little bit yesterday during this segment, but here's the lore behind it. So this is GM. As you can see here, the market cap is currently $5.5 million. It's building a holder base pretty strong. It's at 7,300 holders. The top 10 have about a little under 12%. So it's getting there. It's getting lower. That's good. The distribution's getting better. But the lore behind this was that Bonk guy, which is one of the founders of Bonk as a brand, and then Let's Bonk is all underneath that, said in Q4 of 2020, I believe it 2024, that hey, look, during meme coin mania, you can literally just slap NU on anything like football NU or stupid NU, and it will go to $100 million. And he said all you need is a decent team behind it and some C-rated influencers. So and then it can really get there, right? So I was watching it for a while. I got into it right below $1 million, and it got to about 3, and I got out. And I was like, I want to see if this continues, but I want to keep my eye on it. And it would kind of go back and forth, and then I saw the holders build up. So I got back in. I'm a degenerate in this world, but yeah. So let's take a look here. If you go to the right here, the two silhouette of two people, you can click on this and it'll take you to the X community, which I have up right here. You can see they have 1,700 members, so decent strength in terms of community members. And then the first pinned post goes over the lore. You can see right here it says UniPCS, aka Bonk Guy. This is his post where he talks about it. You can see he says simply adding NU to your shitcoin could send it to $1 million market cap. And he says you could literally call your token football NU or stupid NU. It would run to 100 million. I guess a lot of people take his opinion, with I guess a lot of they consider his opinion a lot, I should say. Anyways, so as you go down here, you can see, and people were like, well, why did it pump today? And one of the reasons is that they this team sent a lot of supply to Bonk Guy in the very beginning, and then the token started getting pretty strong to the point where the supply that was sent to him was worth more than the LP of the token that was set up. And then Binance Research did a story on that overnight, and that's when shot it from like 3 million to like it got all the way to 7, I think. And so it's kind of pulled back right now. So that's what I'm currently looking at. But I always go into the trenches of GM, and you can all GM, I should say. And you can kind of see what's new here. Be very careful, man. Like these tokens can get to $300,000 in a quick 10 minutes. They're to zero. So you really got to, do kind of what I just showed you. How big is the community? How many holders do they have? What's the percentage of the top 10 that are holding them? How good is the narrative? The narrative kind of plays into this lore, right? With stupid NU, and it does have the NU at the end. So that's what that's pretty much the main token I'm looking at right now. Another thing I try to do is I'll go to Dex Screener, and so the trenches right here, this is the most degenerate part, right? You can see like when they first launch, you see the completing, they're about to bond, and then after they bonded. And this is just degenerate zone. You could get lucky. You can get in early on a token, but just know 90 to 95% of them are going to go to zero. That 5% is what you're trying to really get, right? But then if you go to Dex Screener, this can actually kind of sift out a little bit of these more degenerate and higher percent chance to zero. If you click on the top right here where the fire is, and then you go to all trending tokens on Solana, you click on that. And then I go to the 5-minute mark because, again, I am very degenerate with this stuff. But this is the safer part of the degeneracy, I would say. I go to the 5-minute mark, and then I click on age to filter it to the newest one. So the ones that get into Dex Screener, even on the 5-minute one, they have to at least kind of get to that $100,000 mark and have some kind of decent, like, I guess, not dying right away. So you can kind of see the age right here. So this last one, Genosis encrypted or Gnosis encrypted. I don't know if the G is silent there, probably. Gnosis encrypted 13 minutes ago. Market cap's 94,000. Probably not great. 13 minutes ago, and it's that low. This one that just came in 3 minutes ago, Jorge. Give Jorge a hat, 152,000. Okay, I would probably check that out and see what the statistics are. But you go further down here and you can kind of see, okay, this one's been around for an hour. It's at 233. And I try to look for one in the middle. I don't know about this one. This one, yeah, I'm not gonna say the name of that.
What is that called? Oh,
yeah. But okay, for example, little guy. This one launched, I guess, like an hour ago. It's at 5.5 million. But there's already, I know because I've been in the trenches. There was a little guy that launched about a week ago, and it's at like 1.3 million. So this is a copycat. So you'll learn these things, right? Candle is one that I saw that like launched a while, is still here. So this is just kind of tips and tricks. But yeah, so the story of the one that I'm in most recently, and kind of it's been like a little bit of a highlight, I would say, because if I were to click on, let's say, this one, you can see who's in the top here, and Stupid is number one. You can see that, right? It's ranked number one. Now there is a boost here, and some of the communities can pay for the boost. So there's a lot that goes into this because you need that to have any type of survival in this environment. But yeah, so that's
we got to pay for the boost for our coin.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah,
to do some boost for sure to get it, out there in front of everything.
You know how to do that?
We just gotta reach out to Deck Screener and it's a really simple thing. Or actually, you create an account with them and you just put the coin in there and then the contract, and you can boost it, I believe.
Hell yeah! So what do you think, man? Is today going to be a good day in the trenches?
I hope so, man. Because if you have a bad day, you definitely need a good day that following day. I'll tell you that. So
I was playing yesterday. I played with one soul, and I lost that soul. So just a heads up, guys. It's not something that I am. I tried, right? I tried. I just got into it. I got into one and did really well, and then everything else after that was not good. But that's the problem. If I win, then I'm gonna keep degening until I lose it. So it's like I never actually win.
That's how the casino gets you. But yeah. it is high risk and high reward over here, and that's why I like to be in the Bitcoin ecosystem a lot of the time. And every once in a while, I'll come over here because I will hit one. Like I hit like a 16x like 2 days ago or 3 days ago off of like $1,600, right? So that's a pretty good, or a 10x. Sorry, I should say. I have a $1,600.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. So but again, there's a lot of losses in between there too, right? So you gotta. It's all about management too. Like it's like bankroll management. It's almost like poker or blackjack. It's definitely closer to that. And the good thing about the Bitcoin meme coins is they can't really sell those if the demand's not there, right? So like they're kind of like stuck as a community together, and then like that's why like you see them fighting hard for each other. So I love that about the Bitcoin meme coin ecosystem, and I'll definitely always that'll be like my main kind of like long-term meme investments. And then every once in a while you might hit something like Troll that ran to 200 million from 700K like 3 weeks ago on Solana or something like that. So but there's a fun aspect to it, but you gotta be responsible. And if you can't be responsible, I say stay away from it.
Yeah, I probably would agree with that as well. Or small money's worth. If you put 0.1 in and do a 16x, I mean that's a really good win for you.
Yeah.
Right. So, but don't just keep putting 0.1 into everything. Make sure they're long and thought out, and make sure you're doing the right thing. But got a couple more things here. So huge news yesterday. So Google Play has clarified that its cryptocurrency exchanges and software wallets policy, they put a policy in effect to where you have to basically know your customer throughout the whole thing. Like it was crazy, but that does not apply to non-custodial wallets, and it will update its help center to reflect this. So I think this is a huge deal, because a lot of the cryptocurrency world got scared that Google was going to force you to do these custodian wallets. Yeah. Well, not just KYC. You just have to trust somebody with your assets all the time. deposit, withdrawal, right? So that would have not been fun, and it probably would exclude a lot of people. But this is effective October 29th. This policy goes in effect, but does not include self-custodian wallets like MetaMask and anything else you do. So I think that was really good. It means people can build stuff for decentralization on Google Play. So I thought that was amazing. But moving along here, though, Michael Saylor now holds $72 billion. And look at this chart, dude. It's absolutely insane. So this was 2020. He put 2.1 billion in. 2021, 5.7, and then he lost all of his gains from that back down to 2.2. Had a really good year. 2023, kept buying and buying. 2024, and as you notice, as the Bitcoin's price goes higher, he's able to buy more. And obviously the price goes up, so it looks better anyway. So he's up 10x on this buy, regardless. I'll probably left like more than that here, and then so on and so on. But yeah, sitting on $77 billion strategy is on its Bitcoin value, and this was at the top yesterday.
Yeah, I mean he earned it. He deserves it. I mean he put a lot of risk into it in terms of, especially the early days. There's a lot of people like, what are you doing? And but he himself reached a point of no return mentally in realizing the value of Bitcoin. And once that happened, it was like no turning back for him.
100%. Yeah. And now it's, potentially this could be bigger and bigger next year and the year after that and the year after that. So good for Mikey there. All right, let's move along to the next thing here. Circle minute 5.5 billion in USDC over the past month. So I'm still wondering where the hell a lot of that is going. And so what I was talking to ChatGPT about it, and I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, like I'm not seeing it on DeFi Llama, right? If you go to Solana, only $11 billion is locked in there, right? And a lot of it is locked in there. This new one right here called Cameo. I looked into this. This is actually pretty cool. This is it's like these pools, right? I was looking at it this morning. That you can kind of get into. You can basically put USDC in there, and it gives you a basket of assets. Like you deposit USDC into here, and you get a basket of assets of 25 different assets. So that is
like, are they like the top assets in Solana?
So some of them are stable coins, and then you got like Jupiter, you got Syrup, you got Coinbase, Bitcoin. So yeah, so it's basically like an ETF. I'm not an ETF. Yeah. It's basically like a index
fund.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool, but like this is one of their highest thing now. You see like a MEV Capital, and you can check what's in them, right? Every single one of them is different. It's called Steakhouse USDC, and there's a lot of stable coins in them as well. But then you do have some of your degen ones as well, where it doesn't have any stable coins if you go down further and further. But again, this is only what is it? 3.3 billion of that, right? But it did come out of nowhere. Jito, obviously, one of the dexes, right? Jupiter, same thing. Sanctum, same thing. But still, only 11 billion. And they put $5 billion over the last month. Where's it going? And ChatGPT said it takes a while for USDC to be able to mint it and get it on chain. It's not like a 15-minute process. Like technically it is, but the paperwork and stuff that has to go around that to make sure that everything's legit takes a while. So they're just getting ready for someone to come in and want to buy it. They can just shuffle them the USDC, take the cash in. And apparently they had a lot of it on Ethereum already. So they're ready on Ethereum. They're not ready on Solana for big buys. So it's just them getting ready for big buys. Do you think this is really bullish that Circle's getting ready? Billions and billions of dollars on Solana for people to come in and start buying this up?
Well, you mean that index fund?
No. So there's billions of dollars of USDC that's not in anything. That's just sitting on the Solana chain.
Well,
do you think it's just there for them to kind of be ready?
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out if you were talking about, to get into that index fund with the USDC, but in general,
I was explaining that there's just not enough there. Like it's only 3 billion there.
But I think that maybe there's that delay of it, but I think this is a good sign for Solana, and I'll tell you why. Solana, what is it known for? We just did a segment on it, right? It's known for like the casino of crypto, pretty much, right? The most degens of degens live there. But the stable coins being added there, because no one really uses stable coins for degenning. So like to me, I think institutions are really trying to establish like a seriousness over there with staking, because you can earn a pretty good return on staking Solana as well, and then maybe like having some sort of stable coin type of yield earning opportunities. But it's a good sign because that's what stablecoin is used for, right? It's used to do DeFi things, to be able to yield generate and stuff like that. And for Solana to start to get, this is not the first time that Circle has minted USDC for Solana, right? They've done it multiple times. Exactly. So they're preparing, I think, for institutions. This is good for Solana because Solana needs some seriousness to it.
Yeah, and this index, I mean, this index fund thing being number one, that's huge, right? So you're going to see more and more of that, and you can get in that with USDC. You don't got to go buy the assets. You just deposit USDC. They basically buy it for you, and you hold it, and you make money. But still, there's only $3 billion there. I mean, like, where is the $10 billion that they did? I mean, So the only other aspect too is, so they want to buy treasuries with these with this money, and so they need to put on chain to be able to back it by something, because otherwise you're just buying them for no reason. So you put the money on chain, you take the collateral, and then you buy index funds with it. So that could be something that they're doing too. They just need somewhere to put it, and they're just putting it on Solana.
Yeah, that makes sense as well.
All right. So this was interesting. Something that we kind of worried about like 2 weeks ago, but according to Arkham data, SpaceX Bitcoin holdings have exceeded 1 billion. The company now holds 8,285 Bitcoin, having first acquired Bitcoin in December 31st of 2020. So remember, it moved, but we weren't sure what was happening with it.
Yeah,
it just moved into a new wallet. It's so from my understanding, and this is just kind of me guessing, whenever they do some type of change in the office, they change the wallet as well to make sure that no one has the keys written down and stuff like that. They do this with Tesla as well. Every now and then the Tesla will move to a new wallet. I think they do that just to make sure that, nothing is compromised. Nobody from the inner team has the keys or anything like that, right?
Yeah. I think this is, just kind of like a change of strategy type of custody situation.
Yeah, 100%. MetaMask expected to announce details of its US dollar peg stablecoin, mUSD, as early as this week, with launch planned for month end. We're going to get a MetaMask stablecoin by the consensus team. What do you think about this?
That's interesting. Yeah, but I think it adds some beef to MetaMask, right? Having a stable coin that can, now you have a ability to add some versatile products, right? Yield generation directly in the wallet. You're not necessarily an aggregator only. At this point, you can do direct product offerings. So yeah, I think it could be good for MetaMask, because I feel like MetaMask is kind of like, they're obviously like legacy in terms of like, they've been around since the beginning of DeFi, right? And kind of like the last thing you want is to be complacent and just, all these new brands are coming in and you're just sitting on your thumbs. And you saw what happened with OpenSea. And we learned the reason why is because OpenSea will always make a ton of money because of a seaport, right? Because they basically, their SDK that gets spread everywhere. But even so, like, I'm sure they want to be a strong brand. And so OpenSea started to kind of realize what they were doing. And I think MetaMask, same boat. They're just basically like, okay, let's see what else we can offer. This industry is going to become more and more competitive as time goes on. And if we're not constantly trying to stay ahead, we're going to get behind.
Yeah, love it. I couldn't say it better. 100%. They got to keep evolving. They got to get into the next product, and stablecoin's great for them. Honestly, especially for a wallet provider like them. So, FARTCOIN is the most bought token by Smart Money for the second day in a row, according to Stalkchain. Smart Money is buying FARTCOIN and tons of it. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, when we first heard of FARTCOIN, we laughed and chuckled and said, "Okay, it's gonna be a meme," but like, it's taking the like space by freaking storm. I feel like it's like the opportunity for it too, and like, even from like a chartist perspective, it looks great on like the daily chart, the weekly, monthly. It looks like it's about to explode, and I actually took a position in it because it's been one of the best tokens to trade too. I mean, people have made so much money off of FARTCOIN. FARTCOIN is just perfectly explains meme culture that can be successful.
Exactly. It's funny. Like I said that before, a lot of these memes are just community coins, right? They're not actually meme coins. Memes are funny. You look at memes online, you chuckle, right? You see, you know what I mean? Like, but with a lot of these coins, I mean, there's nothing funny about a pop cat. Like, I don't find that funny. like about a dog with hat. I mean, I don't get it. Maybe my humor is just not. Maybe I'm old man, young at clouds. I don't know, but I just don't find those funny. But
What about
FARTCOIN, I do.
what about
I don't know
Doge,
why.
Doge and Shiba either though?
No, there's nothing funny about
Yeah.
them. I know
Well,
the
I think
OGs,
you
so.
got. I think it's either funny or there's some sort of like community connection that builds very strongly. And I feel like with Doge, it was during the GameStop stuff, so it was like perfect to get into that.
Yeah.
Sheeb was like, you know, I don't know. I remember during that time, but I don't know why they rallied around Sheeb. Maybe because it was
Yeah.
like a copy of Doge. Honestly, like Sheeb is lucky because like it was literally like the copy of Doge, and that's why it succeeded.
So it was the dog that was in Doge, and the reason Doge succeeded because it was a joke, like
Yeah.
poking fun at crypto.
Okay, so that
Like-
one you can kind of consider funny a little bit, just because you're like you didn't take it seriously.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like she literally was like Ethereum or Litecoin. You know, during the early days, that was like, okay, we're just going to copy what they did or what Doge did, except for on Ethereum now, and it got huge success.
Yeah,
And then I mean, even Bonk, dude, Bonk is a Shiba Inu dog, right?
Yeah.
Like they just copied Sheeb. like how many Shiba Inus do we have, bro? Like dog with hat is a Shiba Inu.
Yeah.
Like that's 4. Like
Yeah.
why can't we have
I
a
didn't think
different
about that.
breed, bro? Like
dude,
what's up
and
with that?
dog is a Shiba.
I know.
You know?
It's fine. And if the stupid Inu one, no, just kidding. But that's like a yeah. Anyways, but my whole point is like these things are like not serious things, and that's why they become successful. And the FARTCOIN is the extreme of that.
100%. All right, so final thing here, Tyler Winklevoss, want to go on chain? The new Gemini wallet will take you there. So now when you log into your Gemini account, it's a centralized exchange. You have a Gemini wallet that is attached to it that'll allow you to buy on most dexes, Uniswap, Aerodrome, and Solana. What's Solana? The number one dex over there?
Radium or
Radium, yeah, or Jupiter. So you're gonna be able to. So just by having a Gemini account, you can now go degen. What do you think about this? They said okay, Coinbase, okay, Binance, we need to get in this, and they're jumping head first. And you know we do see Kraken maybe coming on board there too.
Yeah, well, Kraken is definitely coming on board because they have ink.
Yeah.
But I think
But they don't have their own chain. They're just going. You know what I mean? That's the difference between the Gemini, the Winklevoss.
Yeah, I think that the closest to them is Bybit, like because I think Bybit doesn't have their own chain and they're doing something similar to this. But the whole idea is having the available like option to go on chain, and I think the Winklevoss see what's happening, and they're just like, we can't not offer this. You know what I mean? I forgot who was first. Was it Binance or Coinbase that offered it first? But I think it's Binance because Binance Alpha, right?
Yeah.
Maybe or something. But anyways, yeah. So this is a thing, and it's if you don't have it, you feel left behind, and I think that's why they're doing this.
Yeah, I think it's just smart. It's definitely a smart thing to do. You know, I have a Gemini account. You know, I'll probably never use it again. But like, it's still, you know, I'd never used it. It's super expensive. You think Coinbase is expensive to buy and sell? Gemini is insane, bro. I remember I was over there and they had a coin I wanted. I couldn't get on Coinbase. I ended up getting it on crypto.com, but I remember I did a trade. It was like $1,000, and I got like $850 worth of the token I bought. I was like, what the fuck happened? Like I'm already down 15%. Like
Coinbase charges a lot too, but yeah, that's a lot.
It was, and like I said, it was like 4 years ago, so it was a long time ago. But I was like, never again. But I'd rather just use a MetaMask and buy on chain that way. But it is opening up a new world to a lot of people who don't want to go on chain, which is stupid. Just go on chain. But that is our show for you guys today. I'm getting some comments here. It's a newbie question. I always start with abstract. Oh. Yeah, okay. Yagobi already put that in there. Absolutely awesome. Yeah.
So let's break it down for Malam. So that website, portal.abs.xyz, you can just create an account with their version of Privy. I don't think they use Privy. They use another company that's very similar. You can sign up with your Google account, but you also have an option to connect your MetaMask to it if you don't want to use theirs. You can do that. It's really simple. And then from there, you can actually, go to Dex Screener and just click on the abstract logo, and you can see all the coins in abstract. And they also have links on that portal as well for coins, so it really helps you a lot. Maybe we need to do a refresher on abstract. We have a tutorial in our library, though, if you go check that out, you can see
Yeah.
how to get integrated with Abstract. We were there on day one of launch. So
yeah. If you have any questions, you can DM me. We have an open DM, so I can walk you through anything you need. So just let me know if you need any help with that. Cash Cat says Shiba dogs. Yeah, 100%. Stan says Treasury for fart. I'm sure there's gonna be one.
Dude, FARTCOIN's gonna be a dominating coin this cycle, guys. I'm telling you right now. And it's all a joke, kind of, but like at the same time, it's a $1 billion market cap right now. I would not be shocked it gets to 15 billion this cycle.
Yeah. 100%. Seth says Coinbase charges 1% fee on spot buys. If you have a Coinbase One, there isn't the 4% additional. Okay, well that makes sense. Coinbase One is definitely probably worth. I think it's like $20 a month, right? Stan says, isn't SHIB Vitalik's dog? No, SHIB is not Vitalik's dog. Seth said, pretty sure Kraken has 1% fees on spot too. Yeah, I haven't used Kraken in a while. When someone created SHIB, they dropped millions of USD worth to. Yes, remember that he donated it all to COVID for India.
Yep,
that was crazy.
Or the earthquake, one of the two things.
Yeah. Seth says that's how it took off, and Cash Cat says, what's that? Chihuahuas were taken by the Taco Bell. Yeah, that's probably why they didn't use Chihuahuas. 100%, man. Appreciate you guys, dudes. And remember, we're launching this Sunday. We're launching our own four-legged friend of somebody that's been around for a long time. So definitely want to check that out Sunday. It's gonna be awesome. We're dropping our official meme coin of on-chain revolution, and it is going to be something what we're gonna do is, if you missed any of the show from the beginning, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a launch pad on Solana, right? Then we're going to use Rune Mine's bridge to bridge the supply that we get in the very beginning. We're going to bridge that over to Bitcoin. You guys have access to the bridge as well if you guys want to bridge yours over. We're going to reach out to the Fluid guys. We haven't reached out to them yet, but we're going to get them to create us a vault where we're going to give you 100% APY for 90 days. You put in 1,000, you get an extra 1,000 on top of that. And we're going to probably do that a few different times until the whole supply is gone. There is no team allocation. There's no team allocation. And with the creator fees we get from the platform that we're using, we're going to be using that to add LP to the Bitcoin side as well. We want this to be very successful. We want this to be up there with, the Billies and stuff like that. We think we have the firepower to do that. And it's going to be a lot of fun for us, right? So we definitely want you guys to be a part of that and be a part of that community. It's going to build its own little community as well. But that's all I got.
Just clarification on that too, for the Fluid staking vault, putting up 1,000 tokens, not USD, 1,000 tokens, you get 1 for 1, 100% on that. And that's going to be limited to what is going to be able to allow 100%. So just know, once that vault opens, you want to take advantage of that if that's what
the first one. I think 100%. I mean, easy. I think we should be able to do that because it probably won't be. We're going to have 50% of the supply, right? So it should be easy for us to give.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, there should be enough for a good amount of people. I'm not saying that, but you want to get into that vault is what I'm saying. If that's your idea. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for the first, like I said, like I don't think we're gonna get like 10% of supply, so we'll definitely give 100% to those people. Yeah, you're right though. Maybe we should have a lock on it to make it a little bit more fair. So if the earlier you get in, the better, and stuff like that. We can maybe give you more than that. Yeah, we'll talk about it, but it's going to be fun, and we'd love to. Once this token is out, you guys just let us know what you guys want us to do. Right, we're gonna have that supply. Even almost maybe we'll put up like we can sign up for one of those things where if you hold a certain amount, we can put up votes and stuff by the community, make it more of a DAO as well. So there's a lot of different things that we can do with this. So really excited to be doing this. But that's our show for you guys today. We got 402 people in here. We got 180 on X, 113 on YouTube, and 109 on YouTube and 113 on Twitch. Not to mention everyone on Kick, Spotify, Rumble, and Abstract. Appreciate every single one of you guys. It means so much to us. You watch us each and every day.
Absolutely, guys. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. And I always remind you guys and ourselves, we're very appreciative for you guys to support us and watch us and continue watching us. Without our partners, we also couldn't do it. They do support us as well to allow us to do this Monday through Friday. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for Bitcoin runes or alkanes, you got to do it at Sats Terminal. Why? Because Sats Terminal will give you Amber points for every transaction that you make on satsterminal.com. Amber points are going to go towards early adopters. It's going to be a give back. you can put 2 and 2 together. They're going to have a future kind of, token there. So, we'll let them announce exactly what they're going to do with that, but it's going to go towards a future give back. So head over to satsterminal.com to swap for runes or alkanes. And in the near future, they're going to also have multiple borrowing and lending products as well. So check them out there. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to bridge your ordinals like your Taproot wizards, you can do so from Bitcoin layer 1 to Ethereum, and you can take a loan out on the Gandhi protocol on Ethereum against your Taproot wizard. And in the future, I'm sure they're going to open up to more collections as well, but you can also bridge over any ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs like Rare Pepes and Counterparty NFTs to Ethereum. And they're going to open up to other chains as well. Abstract, Base, they're already on Ethereum live now, possibly Merlin chain, and Solana is the idea there. Speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product on Solana called AI Agent Hustle. You can currently use Hustle to help you through the trenches of Solana. I actually do use Hustle to ask, hey, what are some safe 5 to 10x plays that I could get into, and he'll bring me back a couple of options with some reasons why. It's not 100% accurate every time, but very knowledgeable, gives you all the information you need, and I use that to kind of get through the trenches as well. Also, you can do conditional trading with Hustle, like for example, buy FARTCOIN when it drops 20%, sell it when I'm in 100% profit, go to the gym, go get groceries, whatever you need, he'll take care of it for you. Also, there's another product that is part of Hustle's ecosystem called Migrate.fund. And if you launched it from the Solana ecosystem, if you launched on Pump Fund or in another launch pad like Believe or something like that, and you want to migrate to Bonk or have your own control of your LP, use Migrate.fund, because Migrate.fund is the simplest way to do that. They walk you through each process, and I believe the August cohort is already closed, but you can get into the next one. And also, because this is a part of Hustle, it all works together, man. The revenue with Migrate.fund rolls into the Hustle token. It's an amazing ecosystem. And don't forget, they do have a Bitcoin rune that they're going to have a TGE for, that is the main token for the entire brand, Emblem Vault, and it's called Emblem Founder Vault Keys. You can go to OpenSea and search that and buy a pre-sale NFT right now. And then once we get to block 915,000 on Bitcoin, the vault will open with the Bitcoin wallet and your Bitcoin runes in there. So really cool, unique way for them to do this TGE. But head over to emblem.vision to learn all about everything I just dropped to you guys just now. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, we are starting a new series with this team on Tuesdays, and I believe is it 4 p.m. Eastern? We'll give you guys all the details on Sunday evening, because we're having a
2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, 2 p.m. Eastern. And so no longer we're going to have that segment on Tuesday. We're actually going to kind of break that out. We're just going to go over trading information, setups. It's going to be a lot more about trading for that segment. It should be really fun, because we're going to have some experienced traders in there. I'd love to have you as well. Myself would be really fun. But if you're looking to trade for Bitcoin synthetic fungible tokens in the future, they're going to have Doggo to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, other runes, and possibly Ordi and Sats as well. Whatever the community that really wants, they're gonna ask you guys, and then they'll try to get it on there. And then also they're gonna have derivatives for TradFi stocks, like for example Coinbase and MicroStrategy. You're gonna be able to trade those on their platform. Right now you can trade Bitcoin or Ethereum on their platform, as they are live on the Botanics Bitcoin layer 2 blockchain. And you can actually earn points for their XP, and it's going to go towards a future give back as well for their TGE, as well as you can earn points. You can double dip and earn points for the Botanics side of things, as they're tracking the activity on chain for their chain there. So head over to Artura.finance to learn more. One thing I will say, to earn the most points, you can add liquidity to their vaults. You can earn passively that way, and then earn the extra XP points that way as well. So really exciting stuff there. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet of the Bitcoin and Cardano and now Sui ecosystems. And they're going to keep adding more, guys. Their whole idea is to make their product the best UI UX for a wallet experience for all of crypto users. If you're looking to trade for Bitcoin runes, you can do so directly in their app, as they partner with Sats Terminal to make that possible. And if you're looking to swap for Cardano tokens, they partnered with Dex Hunter to make that possible as well. And then the Sui integration should allow you to swap for Sui tokens as well. But also there's an alpha section in there. You can find our channel as well as other YouTubers in there. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store to download download it. If you have a Google Android, head over to the Google Play Store. You can download it. Let us know your feedback. We'll pass it over to the team. Head over to Tokyo.io today. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI with their Wizard 0.3 version that guides you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. You can also do DeFi functionalities with it. And right around the corner, probably next week, they will have the version 0.4 out. And that is going to allow you guys to do cross-chain swaps from Merlin Chain. You can use your Merlin Chain Bitcoin and swap for Solana meme tokens. You can swap for BNB meme tokens. This is another crazy AI tool that they have, that one of our partners has. So make sure you're taking advantage of it because it's free to use, guys. Just like Hustle's free to use right now. But also, you can participate in their proof of stake security system here. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin, and it averages out to a 16% APR. It is locked up until September 30th, and that is the first kind of cohort of the Bitcoin staking. And then also there's two options for the Merlin Chain token staking. The flexible option is the day-to-day. You earn 15% APR, but you can claim your rewards every day and compound that, and creating a compound interest effect. But when you do withdraw for the daily flexible, it does take 7 days for you to get your Merlin Chain tokens back. That's kind of their standard procedures for their cooldown period. And then they have the 6-month option, which is the bonded option, and that is 45% APR. You can still claim your rewards daily and do the compound interest thing, but obviously it's locked up for 6 months there. So head over to merlinchain.io to dive in and learn more there. And then our last partner here to go over is Ordinal Hive. This team has been working for a long time to build the best Ordinal aggregator marketplace. So they are aggregating from all of the marketplaces to find the cheapest Ordinal price for you, as well as their platform being the fastest Ordinal marketplace in the ecosystem. You also get your Bitcoin right away when you sell an Ordinal. You don't have to wait for the 10, 50-minute blocks times, depending on Bitcoin, how slow it is or whatever. They give it to you right away. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. And they have amazing trader tools as well, like live mempool insights that you can grab, like a node muck. If it's accidentally mispriced, you can grab it really quick, get it in the mempool into your wallet. So we head over to ordinalhive.io. Also, they have a space every Thursday. So today at 2 p.m. Eastern. So jump in there if you want to talk macro or just about the Ordinal space. It's really fun space. So we thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. They're really quick reads, brand new article right here, blockchain, circles, ARC, Stripe tempo. You can learn all about what Stripe and USDC are building with these L1 blockchains, guys. It's something you definitely want to know about, and they're very quick reads. You can read these in a few minutes. And like I said, every single week we've put out one. So you can go all the way back to 2023 and really kind of learn what was happening then and really get caught up to what's happening now. I think this is a perfect way for someone to get started, and maybe for you, maybe you missed something. Definitely check out our articles there. And if you guys need a VPN, click our VPN tab there. That'll take you to the NordVPN website. It's $3 a month, guys. It's stupid not to have VPN. There's free ones out there. So if you if you want to go find a free one, there's free ones. They're just not as good as this. This is like top of the line, $3 a month. Lock it in for 2 years. If you do lock it in for 3 months, you're going to come back and you're going to have to pay $11.59. But if you lock it in for 2 years, set it, forget it, be done with it, you pay $66, whatever it is, and the tax and stuff. But then you have a VPN. And, I went to a site this morning that kind of geo-blocked me. I tried using it. It was a site on Solana with the indexes and stuff. So I was like, what the hell? It wouldn't let me on, so I had to put the VPN on. But having a VPN got me around that. If you want to use this exchange like MEXC, where got to pay the 1% fee, the Coinbase crack and stuff, you use MEXC, it's like 0.1. You put, I do these trades over there. Like when I kind of use them as my bridge sometimes when I want to go from Solana back to Bitcoin or whatever, right? I just send it over there, swap it. They even have a convert option where it's not even a trade. They just convert it for you and you just withdraw it. It's perfect, but you can't do it unless you have a VPN. So get a VPN today. Use Nord. It's my personal favorite. I use El Salvador and I use Switzerland as well. You can kind of move your VPN to any location that you want. And it's really stupid not to have one. And then we got our merch store. You guys, we got hats, shirts, jackets, and so much more. Check everything out here. This is our Shopify third party. We don't see your name, address, nothing like that. It all goes through Shopify with with everything. We just apply the logos and stuff like that. So definitely want to check out everything we have here. And if you guys want anything, we can add your PFP. We can add pretty much anything. Just let us know if you want us to add anything. We'll add it here. But much appreciate you guys just taking a look at onchainrevolution.io. And guys, remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain, 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 OnChain. OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.